And we are recording. So, welcome everyone to our fireside chat with guest Esther Rodriguez Brown, who is absolutely one of my favorite people. And I just want to take a little minute because I know I've been on hiatus. I needed to do a little bit of adulting, have a little bit of an adult spring break and a refresher. But I am Dr. Monica Bickerstaff Riley. I am an MD, and my specialty is integrative medicine. But I also have over 30 years of expertise in the healing arts, indigenous healing arts, and natural medicine, including as a certified clinical aromatherapist, a traditional Chinese medicine energy healer, and a master herbalist. I am the president of Women of Global Change Las Vegas chapter here in sunny Las Vegas. The winds have kind of died down for us this evening. What a wonderful, pathway to the healing and the sharing that we're going to do this evening under Esther's guidance. And I am also the owner of an award-winning natural beauty, clean beauty, sustainability company called Dr. Monica's Natural Beauty. So I want to welcome those sisters who are with us. I know as we get started, there will be more who join us, but I am always respectful of people's time. And there are a couple of housekeeping announcements. We are recording. So at any point, if you do not want to be seen on camera, please feel free to mute yourself. I call it as with television in my background, fade to black, but I love seeing your faces. So I hope you'll have your beautiful faces and your smiles and your reactions if you will stay with us. We will end at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and somewhere in the middle is Central time. and, and we will just be comfortable, make sure you have enough water. Las Vegas chapter, Women of Global Change, we are seeking a few good women. If you are interested in joining our team as a social media strategist or fundraising chairperson or youth initiative chairperson, please make sure that you drop me an email at monica.riley@csn.edu. Also, please note that if you have any questions during the next 90 minutes, please make sure that you drop your questions into the chat, and we will make sure that we cover everything. And in just a couple of minutes, we will begin. Again, please make sure that you are muted. We are recording. And my dear, beautiful friend, Esther, I want to introduce Esther. Before I introduce her under her formal bio, I want to introduce Esther. I believe, Esther, you and we met in 2013.
Mhm.
And Esther was the very first person to enter my very first holistic healing workshop on the first day of the month of November. And literally, that's 4/1 when she walked in to, at the time, the spirit within you. I just, I knew I had met my sister from another mister. And over the years, just being in Esther's light and following her with the Embracing Project and being a strong supporter and contributor over the years, I have just, as Freddie said earlier, if you have never attended a workshop that has been under the guidance or practice under the guidance of Esther Rodriguez Brown, you're missing something. And today we are all going to feel um, her her light, her healing, and her love. And this is what we need right about now. So I say that, and I will read from Esther's bio. Esther was born and raised in Spain. She arrived to the United States in 2001, and in 2007, she founded the Embracing Project, a grassroots nonprofit organization that services children survivors of sex trafficking and gang violence. Through her organization, Esther traveled around the world to expand her service to humanity. In 2019, Esther merged the Embracing Project with Rite of Passage, a national organization to expand services for youth and to ensure the continuity of her legacy. Esther has over 20 years of experience working with victims of sexual and gang violence and complex trauma survivors. Esther is also the founder of Ego Friendly Living, a company based on the principle of compassion, self healing, and self empowerment, focusing on body, mind, and soul through self care practices and tools to decrease stress in our daily lives and in our work environment. Esther has a master's degree in psychology with emphasis in trauma. She is an Ayurvedic health counselor, a yoga therapist, and teacher with studies in Yoga Nidra and sound therapies under the lineage of Swami Satyananda Bihar School, and has studied Vedic counseling and Vedic astrology. Esther is a recognized national and international consultant, trainer, and speaker in trauma-informed practices and sex trafficking dynamics, and her services are contracted by private and public agencies. Esther has been recognized in national and international media, documentaries, books, and film, and has received many awards for her humanitarian work with children affected by sex trafficking and violence. She is the author of The Power of Your Hands, Mudras for Your Everyday Life. And I am absolutely thrilled, Esther, to have you join us this evening.
Thank you so much for inviting me into your space. So I am honored to be here with all of you, all my sisters, all of you. And so I'm thankful for that.
So before we start the Q&A, Esther, one of the things that I like to do is kind of ground our sessions. So would you please kind of guide us through right now, just a guiding breath work so that we can kind of come together and consolidate our energies?
Of course. And I will actually, with your permission, grab one of my Tibetan bowls to clear and unify our energy. So if you feel comfortable, make sure your spine is straight. So we are connecting from the crown to the root. Just do a rotation with your shoulders. So we open our heart. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes, so you can find a point that you can gaze and just lower your gaze and just take a deep inhale through your nose. Allow that inhalation to go up into your crown chakra. And then open your mouth and exhale completely out any tension. Just let go. One more time, inhale deeply through your nose. Allowing that inhalation to expand the prana up into your heart and then to your crown. Hold on to that inhalation for a few seconds. Open your mouth and just allow that to release. And one last deep inhalation through your nose. This time we're going to ground ourselves and very slowly exhale out through our nose. And when you're ready, open your eyes and welcome.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I know that we have so much going on in our lives right now. Energies are scattered. We are being literally assaulted in so many directions, our minds, our bodies, our spirits. And I always find that it just takes a minute to kind of ground ourselves. It's so funny, Esther, because when we were speaking about what we would call our chat tonight, and we talked about ego-friendly living. And as I was typing and creating the invitations and so forth, I started laughing to myself because, you know, we're moving so quickly now, many of us. And I said, you know, I bet people are going to not even stop to read, number one. They'll see your beautiful face on the flyer, but they won't read. And when they see ego, they might think it's eco-friendly living. So let's be clear. We are here to talk about this evening, ego-friendly living. And Esther, would you share with us, what does ego-friendly living mean?
Yes, and it's true. So many people tell me, what do you do? Eco-friendly? Are you in the environmental business? And I say, no, it's ego-friendly living. So I think that, well, eco-friendly living is a company that I created from my heart center to create a space where we can be compassionate with each other, that we can hold a space for each other, and also to empower people to understand their self-power. We all have the power to heal ourselves. We all have the power to connect with our higher self. And so, because we cannot get rid of the ego is part of our human condition. As long as we are in this human body, ego is part of that human condition. But we can nurture our ego and create a friendly ego, a healthy ego. So it won't be in the way for our growth, for our enlightenment, for our spiritual evolution. So ego-friendly is just a way to tell people we are not so important. This is just part of the bigger journey. So don't take it so serious.
Right. And with that, what are just a few benefits of adapting an ego-friendly lifestyle, in addition to the ones that you've just mentioned?
So I think that adapting an ego-friendly lifestyle, it also bring more peace into your life. A lot of the times we react versus act. And so when we react to something, we react from a place of our ego. We want to we want to be right. We want to be seen. We want to get our point across. And I always, well, now for years ago, I decided to live by this mantra. I prefer to be happy than to be right. And so that's that's what I live by. I don't going to argue with somebody just because I think I am right. And so I have to come back to my ego friendly and put things into perspective. What I want to be happy or I want to be right. Definitely I want to be happy. And so that brings My cholesterol is low, my blood pressure is low, I don't have heart conditions. So it is studies done, and Dr. Monica, you know about the childhood trauma and how affect into our physical being, into our physical body. So when we have exacerbated ego and we always want to prove things to others, then we enter in this cycle of constant competition and constant stress. So I think being in a state of ego-friendly living, it gives you peace of mind, which in turn it translates into a healthy body and a healthy emotional body as well.
And I think it also allows us to have a choice, to have control over how we live and how our living is going to be affected by people around us, from isolated incidents around us. And I feel like it's so important that we um, initiate and act on that choice, right? To live an ego friendly lifestyle, to protect our bodies and our minds from stress. And also, there are many variables today that we don't have control over, but happiness is our choice. And you're absolutely right, Esther. We can choose to be happy, or we can choose to keep hitting our head against the wall and getting in our own way, right?
Right.
So I'm wondering, sometimes the power of the ego is so strong. Um, I'm wondering what you think about this. Do you feel that an ego centered self can coexist with gratitude?
I think, I mean, ego is not a bad thing because ego play a very important role in self-preservation. Ego protect us for certain situations that, ego is like the amygdala of our mind, kind of, right?
Yes.
So when ego see danger, it's going to protect us. It's that little voice that tell us, okay, are you sure you want to do that? Maybe you're not ready to do that. It's a little bit judgmental too. So that's why we have to put our ego in check. And our ego is part again of this human experience. We are not our body, we are not our mind, we are not our ego. We are what is called in Vedic tradition the Atma, the which will be similar to the soul. We are that essence, that energy, that light. And this is just the container. And the container comes with certain things. It comes with a mind, and it comes, part of the mind has the ego. So yeah, I think that ego and gratitude can come together as long we have a healthy ego. People who is very egocentric and they only see what they can perceive with the physical eyes, and they always put their own needs in a selfish way above of everybody else without taking into consideration how that is going to affect others. So it's a little bit difficult because when you are grateful, you are humble. And humbleness doesn't go very good with a big ego. So, if your ego is healthy, then gratitude is part of of course it is. Um, I think if you have a very big ego, gratitude turn into entitlement. And some people confuse a little bit be grateful from being entitled. I deserve that rather than I am grateful for that.
Yes. And it's so funny that you mentioned the amygdala, because I was speaking earlier this week to a group of my clients, and I was sharing with them that one of the ways that we can kind of like get through day to day, regardless of what's going on in the outer world, is that for real, all of our amygdalas need an attitude adjustment right about now. And the amygdala is important, sisters, because it's the part of the brain that rules our emotions, our ability to think rationally and critically, our cognitive thoughts. And it's also the part of the brain that responds when we are stressed out. The cortisol hormone is out of control. The amygdala is the part of the brain that regulates our fight or flight. And if we really don't understand the amygdala, we can just wild out. And oftentimes that acting out, that tantrum, adult tantrum, that acting out, that wilding out, that not considering others who are around us in our paths, in our communities, that can lead to a disconnect from self, which is a whole nother topic. So as we're looking at, Esther, how to kind of harness in and rein in the stress and in a healthy, healthful way, how to stay grounded, what are some of the ways that you recommend that we can stay grounded holistically?
Right. So some of the techniques that I use, or the tools that I use, I have a daily routine. I think especially after COVID, when COVID hit, that we were told to stay inside, and we are beings of social, right? We had a routine that was broken. They told us, no, humans, you've been bad, now you stay inside, no more of that. So having a daily routine is so important because it creates an expectation for your mind, and our mind want to know what is ahead most of the times, right? So having a daily routine, it's important because it grounds you and allow you to have some type of discipline and self-discipline. Self-discipline is another very important virtue that we should develop to create some type of self-discipline. Also, of course, pranayama, breath work. I think breath work is the best medicine. And it is so important that I always say, life starts with a big inhalation and end with a big exhalation. That's the cycle of life, right? The circle that we have: big inhale and long exhale. And we breathe because if we don't breathe, then we cannot live. But we breathe, and we don't breathe mindfully. We don't take time to connect with our breath. And our breath is what connects us with our higher self. So breathing is very important. And we have different breathing techniques that we can use when we are very heated, like I was yesterday, and I put that video on Facebook. So I was very heated. So after I put the video, I did my Shitali breath, which I can show you later, right?
Yes.
Cooling breath. Also, we have breath that will increase the heat in the body. This will bring your heat down, but sometimes we don't feel very energetic, or we feel a little bit down. There are also breath techniques that you can do to bring that energy. Also, to balance your right and your left brain and your right and left energy. And it is the Nadi Shodhana that we can do also later. So it's many different breaths that I use depending how I feel, but Nadi Shodhana is one that I always do. Then I chant. I chant every morning, and I tap a lot. I do a lot of tapping. And sometimes it's like I tap very strong, especially if I'm very right, if I'm very stressed, I'm like, oh. But I tap. And also, I think is the attitude. I always remind myself, okay, well, life is not as serious as we want to see it. It's not as, it's just a journey. If you see the lifespan of the soul, this lifetime is just this. So I always try to think, to put things into perspective and see how me reacting to something is going to affect my mind, my soul, my body. And I journal, of course. I use Ayurvedic techniques like Abhyanga, which is the oil in your body that I can share with all of you if you wish. And so there are different techniques that we can use, and use your support system. When you are stressed, when you feel that, we need to talk to somebody, reach out to your sisters and to your support system, and talk to them.
And I like how you encourage us to look at life as a cycle, as a circle. That's the shape that I prefer too, the circle of life. Um, we women, when we gather, when we come together in a circle, that is very powerful. That is also mindful. And also, if we look at breath, how breath works in that circle for each of us, medically speaking, we are not even documented as a, a being, a life, until we what? Take our first breath.
Right.
And so, what we do from the point of taking our first breath, what are we doing? How are we living our lives? How are we being of service to our communities and to others until we reach that point again? And then, as you said, Esther, the exhale, the
Yes.
that is the expiration of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we are so blessed and so lucky, then not only have we lived a mindful life, but we've also left a footprint
Right.
that hopefully our legacy will walk into. And so I really respect what you say about the importance of having a blueprint, a groundwork, so to speak, a routine. When you speak about some of the breath work, and I know we have pranayama, we have breath of fire, we have ujjayi breath. What can you share with us about pranayama
So
technique?
so pranayama is how we call all the breath. All breath is pranayama. Prana means the life force. And so we need prana to live. And prana can come from many different ways. It comes from the food. That's what is very important, what we put into our bodies. Actually, in Ayurveda, we don't say you become what you eat, but you become what you digest. Because you can eat something and then not digest it well, and then you can become ill. So we are what we digest. Prana in the food is very important. That's where also in Ayurveda we don't encourage leftovers for more than 2 days, because the prana, the life energy, is gone. So pranayama is the main source of prana, which is the breath. And we have different types of pranayama. So ujjayi breath is one, breath of fire. We have the breath of joy. We have nadi shodhana, shitali, kapalbhati. So one of the breath that I use the most, and I use also in clients that they get activated by memories, maybe they have past trauma, is the nadi shodhana. And nadi shodhana, if any of you did yoga, you probably are familiar with. Nadi means channels. So it's all the channels that we have in the body. And Shodhana means purification. So this breath we use to purify the channels of our energetic body. And it is we alternate the nostrils, and we always start by closing our right nostril, starting from the left. The left side of the body is connected with the moon, with our cooler side, and with our feminine side. And the right part of our body is connected with the sun, with the heat, and also with the masculine energy that we have. And so this is a very important breath because it balances those energies. It balances our heat and our cold. It balances our masculine energy and our feminine energy. It balances the sun, which is related to the soul, and the moon, which is related to the mind. The moon is also related to the mother energy. The sun is related to the father energy. So we balance all these energies. So it's very powerful breath. Then the other one that I use that is very calming as well is called Shitali. Shitali means cool. And that's the only pranayama that we inhale through our mouth, the only one. And then exhale out through our nose. And when you feel like now I'm in that age that I'm going through my menopause, right? And so I'm letting go, I'm in my liberation age. And I don't have a lot of hot flashes because I'm a Vata Pitta. And I can explain that what is in Ayurveda. So Vata is more the element of air and ether, and Pitta is the element of fire. So I get more dryness. But if you are a Pitta, if your constitution is Pitta, you will have a menopause that you're gonna have a lot of hot flashes. This is a great breath, a great pranayama to bring your temperature in the body down, but also the temperature of your mind down. So if you want, we can do some of these breaths when we do the pranayama, and we can practice some of the breaths.
Yes, that will be wonderful because, and I like, what is it? Shitala?
Shitali.
Shitali.
Yes, Shitali.
Shitali. I like that because if I get hot-headed, instead of cursing, I can say, oh, Shitali.
Yes, you can say that too. I love it.
And I've attended a couple of your online yoga practices, and for me, my daily practice, my daily routine includes a Kundalini yoga practice, but most importantly, again, when the stressors start to rise and elevate, and I start to just kind of just go out of my mind, out of my right mind.
Right.
I like to practice Yin Yoga. And I'd like to introduce my sisters who don't know what Yin Yoga is. Can you share with us what Yin Yoga is and some of the benefits, especially as Yin Yoga helps to promote sleep?
Yes, so Yin Yoga is very slow pace yoga where you hold the postures of the asana for like 1 to 3 minutes, right? So you are connecting with your body. So you are mindfully connecting with your body. Yes, it promotes sleep. It promotes also decreasing of your stress. It promotes calmness in the mind. Yin Yoga, it's a very slow, gentle asana. Now, Yoga Nidra, it's the other part of yoga that I am trained on, and I'm trained in Yin Yoga too, but Yoga Nidra I am in love with. And Yoga Nidra, and Freddie says yes because he used to come to some of my sessions. Yoga Nidra means sleep in Sanskrit. And so I explain Yoga Nidra as you do yoga with your mind because your body is in completely stillness. You don't move. You lay in Savasana and you do, it's the yogic sleep. So yoga nidra was used by the Indian army, and also here in the US army, they use yoga nidra when soldiers are in combat and they don't have a lot of time to sleep, or they cannot sleep well because of their PTSD. And so the research said that 1 hour of yoga nidra is equivalent to 6 hours or 7 hours of sleep. It's very powerful yoga. And you just lay in the mat, and the practitioner, it's guiding you to connect with your body. And then it's guiding you through a very powerful visualization. And what happens is that your brain is moving from the different waves. It go from, and that between, you are in the stage between sleep and awake. That's the beauty of yoga nidra. And so it's a very healing practice.
And I can attest to that as well. I too have practiced yoga nidra. Actually, is what helped me navigate these last 18 months through quarantine and the pandemic. And I also want to say that, it's okay to meet yourself where you are. Each day, you are enough. Accept yourself where you are. Today, I woke up with an abundance of energy. Tomorrow, it might be, I'm going to be functioning from the bed office. I mean, there's so many things to just don't be hard on yourself. We are so resilient, and we have to honor and praise ourselves for the resilience that we have demonstrated and sustained, especially during these last 18 months of this pandemic, something that we've not known before in this conscious lifetime. And as a result of navigating our health, our minds, our families, our communities, through this trauma of a pandemic to this triumph where we are now, we're all dealing with a little bit of PTSD, and that's okay to claim it. That's okay to understand what that is. And Esther, are you offering any yoga nidra sessions? If anyone here this evening wants to contact you for a one-on-one or a class yoga nidra session, which I highly recommend, because you are still, your body is still, and our mind is what's at stake right now. We have to control our minds right now for the collective good. And how would someone reach you, Esther, if they want to experience yoga nidra with you?
Yeah, I have a class every Monday from 6 to 7, and it's a Zoom class. And you can go to my website, which is www.egofriendlyliving.com. And so it's every Monday from 6 to 7. And so what we do a little bit of gentle yoga for like 20 minutes to prepare the body, because you don't want to go right away to yoga nidra because your body's going to be jumpy. You have to let go of some of that energy. And so we do gentle yoga for 20-25 minutes, and then we go into yoga nidra. And that's a class where where other people attend. It's not a huge class, so you will feel that connection still. If you would like to work one-on-one, you also can contact me through my website, and then I will do something that maybe is more specific for you. Yoga nidra is also used to treat certain things. So I work with clients that maybe they are going through a particular trauma event that they are trying to overcome, or they have some type of blockages. So then I personalize the yoga nidra for them as well.
Wonderful. And you have a treat for us. If you would, I want to start to talk about your book for a minute. The Power of Your Hands, Mudras for Your Everyday Life. Now, we've all heard the phrase that our eyes are the windows to our souls. But as women, I feel that our hands and how we use and express with our hands are literally the pathways to our heart. And so, with that, Esther, what is a mudra?
Yes, so a mudra is a hand gesture. It's like yoga for your hands. And so every finger is connected with one of the five elements. So the universe, it's made of these five elements. It's ether, space, right? Ether or space, air, fire, water, and earth. So we as a beings, we also have those elements in our body. And so every finger is connected with the elements. The thumb is connected with the element of fire. The index finger is connected with the element of air. The middle finger is connected with the element of ether or space. The ring finger is connected with the element of earth. And the little finger is connected with the element of water. So mudras, when we bring our fingers together, like if you do meditation or you ever went to a meditation class, they're gonna ask you to do the Yin Mudra, which is bring your thumb and your index, your index, right? This is your index,
Yeah,
your index together, right? And you
Yeah.
extend the rest, exactly. So what are you doing? You are bringing fire and air together because air is what governs the mind. Fire bring the air down, and now you are able to calm your mind when you start your meditation. It is always a reason why we do things, right? Sometimes we don't know. They say, okay, my yogi told me to put these two fingers together, so I just do it, right? But it is because of that, because it's going to bring the air element down. And so also when we do the namaste salute or namaskar, if you go to India, that's how they say they greet you, right? This is the Anjali Mudra. Anjali Mudra, you bring all the elements together. All your fingers are touching each other. And you balance your entire body. And even if you have your hands together in Anjali Mudra, you probably feel some warmth in between your palms, right?
Yes.
And you feel some opening in your heart. It's a very powerful mudra. When we put all of our energies together, then our bodies start reacting. So the book came out because I use mudras for my everyday life, right? And so a lot of my clients, they were like, can you teach us how to do it? And so I write for a long time, but of course my first language is Spanish. My English I learned when I was 33 years old, so it took me a little bit still, And so I was very self-conscious. I'm like, who am I to write a book in English? It's going to sound kind of crazy. It's going to sound like I speak kind of, right? So it's going to be, but I did. I said, well, I have something to share. It's very simple and it's straight to the point. And it talk a little bit about the chakras and the mudras and explain. And I chose a few mudras to share with you. So I have a friend of mine, her daughter did all the art. And then, yeah, it's all very, all the mudras she painted.
It's lovely.
Yeah, thank you. She did a great job. And you have the element, the dosha, and then how to practice and what are the benefits. And I created an affirmation for each mudra. And so it's an easy.
What will you share with us? I'm like excited.
Yeah, so I'm going to share one that I really like, and it's called the Ganesh Mudra. And Ganesh, if you are familiar with Ganesha, is one of the Hindu gods. This is the Ganesha Mudra. And I'm going to explain you how we do it. And so Ganesha, what it does, the energy of Ganesha is to remove your obstacles, or also to put obstacles in your life to see how you're going to overcome those obstacles. That's what the energy of Ganesha does. So this mudra in particular is going to help you with the element of fire. It's going to increase your fire. So if you are a person who are always in your mind, which is more of the Vata type, where you start 5 projects and then you start one more project and then you forgot that you start 5 projects before, and then your mind is all over the place, or you always feel very cold in your body, or you are not eliminating well. This is great for elimination of toxins. You can do this mudra. So you bring your right hand in front of your heart. So we bring our hand to the shoulder, to the length of the shoulder, and then bring your right to grasp your fingers. And so you grasp them both like that. Like if you hook both hands, perfect. And then the palm of the left is looking into your heart and the palm of the right is looking outside. So we inhale through our nose and pull without letting go of the grasp. You pull, hold on to your breath for 3 or 4 seconds, and then exhale out and relax.
Now, are we exhaling through our nose or through our mouth?
It's up to you, because when you exhale through your nose, it's more grounding. If you need to release, then you exhale through your mouth. So okay. I always tell my clients, listen to what you need. If you need to release, exhale to your mouth a couple of times and then go and release through your nose so you will ground it.
Okay. Let's do it again. I need to release.
Let's do it again. So inhale deeply through your nose and pull. Hold on to the inhalation and then choose your exhalation as you release. One more time, inhale and pull. Hold on. Exhale and release. And one last time, inhale and pull. Exhale and release. So if you notice a little bit of heat, it's because the fire is increasing. This is great for digestion. It's also great for to purify your blood, because we are increasing the element of fire. So you have high blood pressure. You don't want to do this a lot, but you want to do it maybe like 4 or 5 times. Very good if you have like I have low blood pressure, so this is good for people that have low blood pressure. And the affirmation that I created for this mudra is, I accept with courage what is and what is not.
I accept with courage what is and what is not.
Yes. Thank you. Another quick mudra before we do the yoga is the Sannya Mudra, this one here. And so Sannya Mudra is good to balance our element of ether. Ether, space. It's also what create headaches, tinnitus. Sometimes I'm propense to, here, I don't know if it's my alien friends that they trying to communicate with me, or is that I have some problem in my ear, right? But I have vertigo sometimes. So those are all Vata conditions, either excess of air and excess of the air element and ether. So this is a great mudra because you bring the ether element and the fire element together. So you bring your middle finger and you rub your middle finger with your fire finger, which is your thumb. And then you rest your hands in your lap. So close your eyes as you inhale and exhale very slowly through your nose, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And so what this mudra does is that help you to bring the element of ether down. So it will help you with headaches, with dizziness, with any type of condition that is going to have an excess of air in the mind. And the affirmation is, I am open to the kindness of others. I am open to the kindness of others. Yes. So it's 44 mudras here that you can learn, and also a little bit about the chakras and the function and what are some of the organs that are aligned with each chakra.
And where can we find your book?
Yeah, so you can find it in my website, or you can go to Amazon and purchase it in Amazon as well.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And so, I've kind of been stalking your Facebook page and your website, and I know that you have just launched an amazing and very much needed trauma sensitive program. Can you tell us first what the name of it is and why we should be involved, why we should care, why we need to sign up?
Right. Well, the name of the program is called the Holistic Way, and it's a trauma sensitive mentorship for anybody who wants to learn about trauma informed practices, but in particular for people who work with clients. So if you are a yoga teacher or a life coach or fitness coach or a doctor or Ayurvedic practitioner or a therapist, because a lot of the times therapists, they know about trauma, but they don't know about trauma informed care. So what trauma informed care does is to create awareness about the responses of trauma. We are not teaching to heal trauma or to treat trauma from a point of view of a mental health professional, because that's what you go to therapy if you need different levels of therapy. But it is creating awareness about how people is going to react to certain situations. As if you are a yoga teacher and you are now playing some music in your class, and that particular music can activate some traumatic thoughts in somebody in your class, and that person now enter into a stage of crisis. How are you going to, number one, recognize that that is what it is? Number two, associate the fact that maybe the song is creating those responses, and how are you going to bring that person back into center without re-traumatizing that person again? So we not only need to create a space that is safe, but we have to create a space that feels safe, because it's very different being in a safe space or being in a space that you feel that you are safe. And so a part of that, I teach other methodology. I teach Ayurveda, how you can implement that into your life or into the life of your clients. Some of the breathing exercises, the pranayama, also some yoga techniques that you can use, and different tools to bring in distress yourself and also your clients if you're going to apply it to your clients. So you have to time, because it's so important that we all are trauma informed, because we never know what somebody is going through when we are having a conversation with that other person. So we all should be trauma informed.
You're so right. And as if there's one thing I've learned and that I've shared with my clients this last year is that we must walk in someone else's shoes, someone that we don't necessarily live next door to or would not necessarily have to our homes for a meal or to break bread with. We have to learn how to be more compassionate and empathetic to others And we also have to be conscious, though, of what triggers us, right? Because
Exactly.
like yesterday, I was going through my day and then something happened at 2 o'clock, which really triggered me. And I had to kind of put myself in a timeout and sit myself down and say, what the F is going on? you know? And I think that the more conscious we are about self, the more
Mhm.
connected we are with self, the better we can not only function in our panoramic lives, but we can also be here to help and to share with others how they can also uh, function better and feel better. We all want to feel good. I know for me, speaking for me, I just want to be happy and I want to feel good and I want to help people.
Right. Right. And a lot of the times, like Dalai Lama say, um, pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. So we all gonna feel pain. We all gonna feel in a moment somebody's gonna hurt us. But then it's our choice to be attached to that emotion and then suffer, because attachment is what creates suffering. Attachment to any type of situation, right? Because a lot of the times, and a little bit linking back to how we start the conversation, the ego, we we do things and we create actions and we help others and we do all these things around, but our ego always expect the fruit of those actions. So we have the right of the action, but we don't have the right of that fruit. That's what creates suffering, because we are attached to the outcome of our actions. So when we do something and then remove ourselves from that attachment, we are able to live in a space of calmness, because we are not expecting anything in return. We just do it because it is our call, it is our duty, it is our dharma to do certain actions.
So with that, I want to encourage sisters, we're getting ready to actually be led through a mini yoga and pranayama practice. Esther is going to lead us. So whatever you need to do to get your space comfortable right now, if it is to dim a light or grab a couch or grab a blanket or your yoga mat, or just stay where you are. We're not going to do anything strenuous. But now I know for me, it's time for me to detach and release.
Yes. So you can stay where you are. We are just going to do a little bit of movement of the body, sitting here where we are. Um, and I'm going to guide you through a little bit of pranayama. So I'm going to teach you the Nadi Shodhana and the Shitali. And then I'm going to guide you to a quick guided meditation so we can connect with our center. That sounds like a plan?
That's a plan.
Perfect. So if you are in your seated position, we're going to release some energy from our shoulders first, because this is where all the tension hold on before we can get into our yoga nidra. So inhale as you bring your arms to touch your shoulders, and exhale out. Now inhale and start rotating your shoulders, and exhale down, inhaling up, exhaling down, one more like that, and then we're going to do the other way. We're going to rotate our shoulders the other way. Inhale up, exhale down. So make sure you open your heart when you go back, and your shoulder blades are almost like if they want to touch to each other. You can feel that relief in your upper back. Perfect. And then relax your hands. If you are in a position that you can place your hand down, we're gonna do some lateral stretch again to relieve some of that tension they get into our spine. So bring your left hand into the bed or into your couch or wherever you can. Bring your left hand. Inhale, bring your right arm up. Exhale and lean a little bit toward the left so you can have a nice stretch here. And you can choose to look down into your left hand or to look straight or to look up to your right hand. So the experience will be a little different depending where your neck is. Inhale, bring that right hand down and to the other side. So you lean toward the right and exhale. And here we're going to do 2 breaths so you can release all that energy that is holding into that side. I'm going to do this one more time. Inhale, come back and bring your left hand toward that side. And now when you are like that, bring your body a little bit open so you can open your heart a little bit. Beautiful. Very nice. Inhale, come back to the other side. And when you are in the position where you are stretched, then open your heart a little bit. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale. Inhale, bring your arms into a T. Exhale, curve your spine and bring your hands together. Exhale, open your heart, look up. Inhale, chin to the chest, bring your arms together. And exhale, look up. Beautiful, and rest. So these are very simple movements on your body that when you are working, when you are in your computer, you just can do and relieve some of that stress that we were talking about. Now I'm going to share with you the Shitali. So Shitali is the only breath that we inhale through our mouth. And you want to do it in a place that is clean. So, you know, in Vegas, we have a lot of wind. So you won't go outside and inhale through your mouth and swallow all the dust and all that, right? You want to do it in a place where there is a lot of smoke or something like that. So you have 3 options. You can roll your tongue. If you can do that, some people can't. I think it's some gene or something like that, they told me, right? You can do it through your teeth. But if you have sensitive teeth, maybe that's not the best option for you. Or you can do it like if you are sucking from a straw. All right, so whatever you choose, that's perfectly fine. So what we're gonna do, we're going to inhale slow, but with strength through our mouth, and then you're going to close your mouth, hold on to your inhalation, close your eyes, and allow that coolness to distribute through your body. So hold on to the inhalation for like 4 or 5 seconds, and then exhale out through your nose. All right, let's try it together. So inhale through your mouth. Close your mouth. Concentrate and focus on that coolness. Exhale through your nose, very slowly. One more time. Inhale through your mouth. Close your mouth. Focus in that coolness. Calm in your mind. Exhale through your nose. One more time. Inhale deeply through your mouth. Opening your heart, closing your mouth, focusing in the coolness, the calmness of your mind, of your body. Exhale out through your nose. So this is Shitali. And by looking at your faces, it's you kind of like it, huh?
Yes. I feel I'm glowing.
Yes, you always glowing.
You all are glowing up there.
So you can use these, like now I felt my temp, I don't know if any of you felt your temperature going a little bit down.
Yes.
So I was a little heated by doing this and, doing the yoga. So you do this and it will bring your temperature down. The Nadi Shodhana. So this is another mudra. So you can do Vishnu Mudra, or you can do the hang loose from Hawaii, which is easier, so whichever you go. So we're going to, yeah, hang loose. So close your right nostril with your thumb and inhale deeply through your left nostril. Pinch your nose. Exhale out through your right. Inhale through your right. Pinch your nose. Exhale out through your left. Inhale through your left. Pinch your nose. Exhale out through your right. Inhale through your right. Pinch your nose. Exhale out through your left. We're going to do one more round. Inhale through your left. Pinch your nose. Exhale out through your right. Inhale through your right. Pinch your nose. Exhale out through your left. Relax your hand. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth. Release.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, this is one of my favorites.
Yes. So I'm going to hop into our chat. And in our remaining 10, I want to see if there are any questions. Oh, can we fix our amygdalas? You know what? Let's discuss the amygdala for a second again. I know that Esther, what you've just shared, what you literally have just walked us through is a way to kind of fix our amygdala. Another way that I like to share with my clients is the blinking exercise. A lot of times we don't exercise our eyes, and when we're on the Zoom and just now inside lighting is different, our eyes get fatigued. So what you want to do is close your eyes softly and inhale to the count of 4, hold 4, and then when you release, you're going to blink your eyes you're going to count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What that does is helps to reset this area here. So if we can kind of practice together, we're going to inhale and hold 2, 3, 4. So exhale, open your eyes and start blinking. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's so simple to do, and it also helps us to clear our minds. Esther I know that we're sisters from another mister, because when you were talking about, when we start so many different projects at once, and then we forget we've started this one, sometimes our minds get so clouded and so polluted. But just the simple act of blinking, it we're so focused on blinking that anything that doesn't need to be in our mind dissipates. And when we stop blinking, we can focus on what we need to focus on. So, Esther, where can we
Right.
find you? Tell
Right.
us, please, your social media handles and your website again. How can we find you?
Yes. So my social media, I can put it on the chat if you want. Is My Instagram is Esther Brown Inspire with the dash, the lower dash. If I don't know if you say like that, Inspire. So that's my social media. Then in Facebook, I think I'm Esther Rodriguez Brown, right?
Yes.
I think so.
Yep, you are.
Or maybe Esther Brown.
You're Esther Rodriguez Brown.
So, oh, I'm Rodriguez Brown. I have another Facebook from my family to speak Spanish only, because they come to my English and start saying things that they should not be saying.
Right,
So
right,
you know
right.
how family is.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I have a right, and then I have a page, Ego Friendly Living, as well. And of course, my website, egofriendlyliving.com, that you put there. So you can find me, either way easily, through Instagram, Facebook, or also via email. Let me put my email here, is esther@egofriendlyliving.com. Here
Awesome.
you go. Yes.
Awesome. And as we, I'm now getting ready after this to have a nap. It's only 7 p.m. right here in Las Vegas on the West Coast, but I am so relaxed. I'm envious of you sisters who are on the East Coast who can just kind of lay out and relax now. But Esther, do you have any other wisdom that you'd like to share with us?
Um, I just want to say that I love you all, and I love your energy, and thank you for holding a space that I was able to share what I have, and I felt safe and loved when I was doing that. So I really appreciate all of you, and
And
love yourself.
look, you are loved and admired. And I don't usually do this, but I'm going to ask you all to unmute if you have one thing to share with Esther before we close our gathering this evening. And you can just unmute and just speak your one, let's call it your one nugget of gratitude.
So I'm grateful for how I feel right now. So very relaxing and open, and so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
Selena. Thank you.
Esther, thank you so much for bringing value to the world.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for teaching us that the power is within us.
in the moment.
Right.
And I appreciate you being authentic. I saw your Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
I'm not I haven't jumped into yoga or meditation, but I just appreciate you being unapologetically authentic yesterday. So of
Thank you.
course I appreciate you for tonight as well.
Thank you.
And I would just say, I'm sorry that I was having some technical difficulty, so I joined late, but I've dabbled in yoga and meditation probably on and off for about 2 years now. But just in the short time that I spent in your presence, I feel like I've learned so much that I feel will really be useful. So I tried to write everything down, and I'm really looking forward to just being able to delve into these concepts a little bit more. And I'm sure they'll be very beneficial. So just thank you so much for your gifts and sharing your gifts.
Thank you.
And you, my sister, I love you. I love you to life and infinity. And one more thing, as we are navigating these days and nights coming up, and we don't know what to expect or what not, one thing that's very helpful to instantly kind of decompress your parasympathetic nervous system, knock that stress out, is to literally do a hug, just like we did just now.
Yes.
The action of holding our shoulders and holding our elbows close to our hearts and close to our bellies. What this does is it helps to create you've heard of the weighted vests, right? That we have, some animals wear weighted vests. Weighted blankets have become very popular in these last 18 months, but they provide a sense of security. And what you can do is you can provide your own sense of security. And as you are doing this, just say gently to yourself, because you're also hugging yourself, I accept myself as I am.
Accept myself.
That's right. And to all of you, thank you for being with us this evening. And I want to say namaste, be safe. We love you. And look, check it. Okay, I kind of disrupted the mood, but this came to a down. Sorry about that. But check us out, Women of Global Change, Las Vegas chapter. Find us on Facebook, WGC Las Vegas. Join our sisterhood. And I'm, just really happy to be the new president for the Las Vegas chapter. And I'm very, very grateful that you chose to spend this time with us. Fireside chat, we have one every Thursday from 5:30 to 7 p.m., 8:30 p.m. start on East Coast. And next week, we will be joined by the acclaimed vocalist, Ane Marshall, one of the members of the Shirelle, creator of This Is a Man's World, But, B-U-T-T. And she will be here with us next week. She's amazing, amazing. And I might even be able to persuade her to sing a little bit for us too. So again, thank you for joining us, sisters. I bid you a good night and have an awesome week.
Take care,
Thank you,
guys.
Esther and Monica.
Thank you.
Wow.
Good night.
So welcome. Good night. Thank
See
you
ya.
for joining us. Take care of that tooth.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, April.